What's going on, gang? What's going on? It's your boy Phantm, Phantm, Phuego. And thank you so much for tuning into this week's edition of his Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of my ghetto point of view. This week has been absolutely nuts. I'm talking crazy, insane, bonkers. This week has been absolutely ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, wow. What the hell is going on? I hope that everybody out there is alright. I hope everybody made it through the week safely. I hope you didn't lose anyone this week. I hope nobody was snatched up by any secret police this week. There's just so much insanity going on in the world. It's just so many things going on in the world. I mean, what pray for everybody in China. That monsoon is looking crazy. If you guys get a chance, check out the pictures of the ice balls that have been dropping in China. They are huge and massive, and they appear to be reminiscent of a virus. Like the way they are shaped and constructed, it's insanity. And these huge, massive ice balls are just dropping down on parts of China right now, and other parts are just massively flooded. So even though they got through the COVID-19 situation and we're seeing their economy start to uptick again, now they're dealing with this massive amount of flooding, which is going to cripple not only their economy and their markets going forward for the rest of the year, but that cripples everybody who relies on China. I mean, how many people have made in China products all throughout their home right now? I mean, just think about that. Think about the amount of goods that you import from China. Think about the amount of stuff that your country imports from China. And this is literally every single country on the planet at this point. There's not really a place that you can really go, save for a few countries who don't have the best of relations with them at the moment, that you don't see 80% easy of your country's imports coming from China. Everything from electronics to food to clothing, toothpaste, toiletries, video games, entertainment, technology, mobile devices, 3D printers. The list goes on and on. China. So I'm a little worried about that, to be honest, because I'm worried as to how they are going to be able to bounce back from that with everything continuing to go on, and how that will affect other countries' markets and other countries being able to sustain and keep the same amounts of goods and services flowing to their people in as steady a fashion as you can right now. That, to me, is going to be a really interesting thing to look into going forward. But I mean, literally, blocks of ice, these ice balls, huge, insane, massive. China is going through it. And, I wish them well. I wish them the best. I pray everybody in China gets through. Because, at the end of the day, life is precious to me. All life is precious to me. Black life is my priority. But all life is precious to me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we would need to say Black life matters if we just were treated with humanity. I don't think we would need to highlight the beauty, the uniqueness, the strength, the overwhelming contributions to the development of culture and science and art and math and creativity and ingenuity that people of black skin have contributed all over this world, all over this globe, from time immemorial. We know the history. So I just say all that to say, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't want to see anybody lose their lives. Life loss happens, though, and death sometimes, is more a part of life than life is. And, life loss will happen, but, life is precious, and we want to make sure each and every life is honored and cherished and loved and supported and guided and nurtured and cultivated and refined and allowed to sprout and grow and shine and flourish and bask in the rays of the sun and all its glory and be glorious. So we would never want anybody to unnecessarily lose their lives, their livelihoods, their ability to take care of their families, their ability to provide for their families. Because there's going to be some people out here with a lot of money that may not be able to get their hands on resources. That money itself may become useless if you can't actually put it to use. You know what I'm saying? If you can't actually move and shake and get your hands on food, on goods that your family will need to survive, will you end up eating those dollar bills? Hope you guys have started planning. Hope you guys have started planting and planning and potting and growing, or looking into ways you guys can sustain, because things will get a little hairy, especially in the winter months, as thing on the East Coast. The West Coast won't fare much better here in the United States, but I really do hope. I'm seeing a lot of people getting into gardening, home gardening, putting at least small herb gardens in their home. And I think that's excellent, because I think this is really a time for everybody to get into being self-sufficient, really getting back to basics. I don't care if you're a rocket scientist, be a rocket scientist. I don't care if you work on motorcycles, work on them goddamn motorcycles. I don't care if you build houses, you continue to do architecture and draw blueprints and do all of that. But if you think for one moment that you don't need to think about maybe learning some skills that can really help around the home, little gardening, little canning, little understanding how to perhaps create mulch. I think those things are so important right now. I do not think this is the time to be playing when it comes to how you're going to survive, how you're going to feed your family, how you're going to take care of your family, how your family going to get around. How are you going to get around if you don't have a family yet? If it's just you and a girl, you and your guy, however it is, what are you guys going to do? You and your old aunt, you and your second cousins. How are you guys going to maintain and move forward and survive? I think these are really times to think about those things. And I don't know if we are being serious enough about that. That old saying about the ant who put away for the winter time while everybody else played and, had fun. And then when the winter came and it was a cold, bitter winter, the ant had things stored away while other people unfortunately didn't make it through that harsh winter. Winter is coming, guys. Literally and figuratively, winter is coming. I hate to sound like the bearer of bad news, and I don't want to ring the death knell. I don't think it's that dire, but I think people will be lost, unfortunately, not only to any sicknesses that, re-arise and surges in any viruses, but just to lack of preparation, lack of saving up, lack of having a plan, lack of being composed, and lack of being used to emergency situations. I think there will be many people that get hurt and panics and uproars and nervousness and tension and anxiety and stress and anger and frustration and sadness from not being able to do the things you normally do, from not being able to take care of yourself, from not being able to take care of your family. I think there will be so many losses of people. I think, the economy may not look the same for a while, guys, and we got to be able to take care of ourselves in whatever way that looks over the next few months, even few years. Personally for me, as somebody in the entertainment industry, they're talking about live shows for bigger venues. Of course, there's smaller venues happening every day, rooftop joints. Shout out to my dudes at Brooklyn Wildlife. They're going to be doing their Summer Fest in the next few weeks, and I'm going to have the CEO and founder of Brooklyn Wildlife, Chris Carr, on, and we're going to chop it up about the festival and everything he's got coming up. That's going to be a really dope show. But so those things are always going on, and you got people like Smokes and Jokes. Shouts to my boy O'Henny, so with the comedy circuit and the performances and the artistry, that stuff is definitely going on. The rooftops is jumping, Parks is jumping. But as far as like Live Nation and bigger draws for stuff that would fill larger venues, mid-size and up, 300 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, 30,000 people. That stuff's not coming back till like 2022, 2023. So are you prepared for that type of long haul? How will you have you prepared yourself to move and groove through those times? Have you prepared yourself to live and survive? How have you prepared yourself to just stay, just stay engaged, just stay locked in, just stay focused and ready for your time to come? Because your time will come and everything will come back around. But right now we're just dealing with this. And those who survive and thrive and get through and study and work hard and keep building and keep growing and keep pushing through while still making sure they stay healthy and stay getting good rest and making sure your family's well-being is good and everybody's health and wellness and safety and security and basic needs are being taken care of. The people who can balance work life to the umpteenth degree will survive, will thrive. But like I said, I don't care if you're a rocket scientist, you're a brick mason, you're a computer engineer, I don't care what you do. If you develop makeup, if you're just a makeup product seller, like if you're just a salesperson, develop some additional domestic skills, because the time is going to come when those domestic skills are going to come to task, going to come to be needed very, very desperately. And if you're not working toward that goal, what are you working toward right now that will help you help your loved ones, however you define your loved ones and the people you care about? How will you help them? How will you help yourself get through these rainy days that are coming? Do you have your umbrellas ready? Do you have your rain boots ready? Do you have a raincoat? Do you have a place to shelter in from the rain? I mean, these things sound crazy, but with all of the losses of jobs, and while we are having some jobs come back, many companies are not coming back. Many companies in luxury businesses, many companies in restaurant business, many companies in the entertainment business will not, unfortunately, make it through these times. Many companies in the business of just beauty, barbershops, nail salons, will not make it through this time. Many spas will not make it through this time. There will be people who will not only lose their incomes as employees, but company owners who have 1 or 2 or 3 small locations who may not be able to keep those locations. And while they may be financially able to float for a while, nobody can take the hit of 2 and 3 and 4 businesses without it actually mattering. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how many assets you have. Nobody wants to take those type of hits in any business capacity. I saw a very interesting thing from Wall Street Journal the other day. Shouts to Wall Street Journal. Guys do amazing work over there, where they were showing how Apple was able to close down their stores, sometimes even a week in advance of other brands or other retailers that would co-occupy space in malls or in the neighborhoods that they operate in, because of not only their amount of liquid assets, which are estimated around like upwards of several hundred billion, but the fact that only about 10% of their actual business, roughly estimated, of course, comes from their brick and mortar stores. So these hundreds of stores that they have all across the globe only generate about 10% of their business. So they can close those stores and still be afloat with like 90% of their business. And then it was showing like another 10 to 12% comes from the app store. And then, they have tons of other stuff that they're doing as far as, making iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, Mac Pros. The list goes on and on of the different ancillary ways that Apple continues to make moves. And their stuff is in schools, so they have huge licensing agreements with schools, and different production companies only use Apple products to make their films and edit, and certain studios only record on Apple computers, certain schools only have Apple devices for their students, certain companies only work on Apple devices. So there's a long list of ways Apple kind of gets to the bag and subdivides how it gets its income. So their eggs are not in one basket, whereas a company like, they were showing like a Starbucks and some Nike, Nike has a few other ways they get money. They're nowhere as diverse with their product offerings as a Apple. And so their stores stayed open longer. Starbucks is, of course, Walmart's, Best Buys, these places stayed open a lot longer before they closed, even as spikes and surges in their particular areas were happening. And because Apple doesn't take as much of a hit to their overall financial picture, and they've got a lot did I say a lot? They got a lot of resources at the disposal. They've got a lot of funds. Of course, they have debts. Of course, they have people they owe, but they've got a lot of funds. And I'm sure they have debtors who have confidence in their ability to pay. So if the debtors don't get the money from them now, they'll be like, we'll just tack some interest onto that, because we know by 2022, baby, ooh, when you drop that new iPhone, we'll get all our money back with interest. So I say all that to say, in a very long-winded way, be prepared, be wise. Know when it's time to hold them, know when it's time to fold them, know when it's time to walk away. Know that you're going to walk away with something. Know that, if you have to hunker down, that your family is good. Get yourself prepared. The time is not too late. Get yourself prepared. Plan out these things, because harder days, unfortunately, I don't mean to be the bearer of this or be sounding that type of alarm, but if somebody is not telling you, your boy Phantm Fuego loves you. And if you don't see, with everything going on, with us facing a pandemic, with China having these massive weather issues, with other countries also having problems, but China, a place that we massively import a ton of stuff from, going through all of these things, and plus the pandemic happening all across the world, it's really going to slow down how things can move, how many things we can import. And because of that, so that whatever is imported, that has to go throughout the whole country, so just imagine how much is then, how the hit that your particular city, state, zip code will take, and how much it actually brings into the stores in your community. Like, these things really, really, really can topple whole communities. And people will need to work together in ways that they haven't. And I hope you live in a community where, you're tight with people, because things can get erratic, things can get chaotic. And unfortunately, I feel people will lose their lives in the chaos just as much as to the illness. In some places, scary to say, maybe more so, to the chaos, to the insanity, to the lack of humanity, to the lack of compassion, to the lack of brotherhood, sisterhood, to the lack of family, to the lack of cooperation, to the lack of community. I feel so many things would just be lost to that. And that to me is more of a heartbreaking thing than anything, because that's the part that's not necessary. That's the part that doesn't have to happen. Time will tell, though. Time will tell. Anyway, let's jump into a few joints. It's your boy Phantm Fuego. This is his Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the news, views, reviews, and previews, which is a twist of my Ghetto Point of View. Shouts to Anchor. You guys are bastards for last week, though. Don't think I forgot about that. We're going to get the black dot up here as soon as possible. Let's jump into some joints real quick. I'll be back. Shit. Yeah, man. So the NBA is back now. I don't really know if I'm here for it. I know that sounds like blasphemy to somebody who's really like a diehard NBA person, and now I got, my young ones really getting into the sports. So it's cool because it reinvigorated the love. I'm not gonna lie, because I haven't really been paying attention too much since everything happened, because I don't feel it's appropriate just to keep it a stack. I just don't feel it makes any sense for me to be sitting here losing myself and getting caught up in all of these things of entertainment when there's like really tragic issues going on, when we out here losing people. Like, I just feel it's stupid, but I can understand why some people want the escape, and as a person who loves ball, it leaves me conflicted. So they started back preseason ball, if that's what you call it, the warm-up games for when the season starts again in a few days. A lot of the players who said they wasn't going to play seemed to be in the bubble anyway. So it's like, yeah, that made a lot of sense. If I thought James Harden and Russell Westbrook both had contracted or were tested positive for COVID, so I wasn't sure that they were going to play, and I heard Kawhi wasn't going to play. So it's just interesting to now see that Kawhi is playing, Russell and James are playing. A lot of the players who said they weren't going to play actually are in the bubble, and the bubble does seem to be going off well so far. I am not a fan of having Black Lives Matter written on the floor. I will say that again. I am not a fan of having Black Lives Matter written on the floor. Please, if somebody can email me, hisghettopointofview@gmail.com, his ghetto, GHETTO, point, POINT, of view@gmail.com. Oh, on The Simpsons, Marge is messing with tinctures today. Oh snap, Marge is doing tinctures. Marge is putting them drops on her tongue. I see you, Margie. Anybody who's watching the this evening's episode of The Simpsons will see Marge Bouvier, aka Marge Simpson, enjoying herself very, very much so. Oh man, the colors, she can see the colors. Now she's got the munchies. Hey, Mars, that's dope. But anyway, yeah, so I haven't really been here for the sports, guys, ever since everything's happened, to be honest with you. I feel like it's kind of been a blessing. I feel like, a lot of people needed to lock in and pay attention to more pertinent things in life. But I can understand how some people wanted to come back. Some people miss sports. Some people love hoops, ball is life, and, they, can't really see life much without it. I get that. I could talk about ball all day. And I promise you there will be episodes on here where we have long, extensive hoops conversations. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really here for this bubble season. I might tune in during the playoffs like everybody else, become a fair weather fan. Homer, what the hell are you doing? You don't know? Oh my God, Homer just set a bunch of vape pens on fire. Ooh, CBD oils, nice. Damn it, Homer. The Drederick. Man, there's so much money in the CBD market per square inch. I think it's like $80 or something to that effect. Even right now, people who are looking to get into something to invest into, the CBD market is a great place to invest. Oh, so this is what they're predicting is going to happen to Mike Tyson's cannabis business. Oh, no, that's so sad. At the end of this, I don't want to spoil it, but at the end of this episode, it appears that Mike Tyson's cannabis business burns down to the ground. Wow, that is very tragic. That is very, very tragic. All right, spoiler alert. So we'll see from if in 5 to 10 years, there's a huge explosion at Mike Tyson's, either his ranch, because he has 2 different cannabis things that he's doing. He's got of course his brand of cannabis things that he's put out, which I have heard are very, very good. I haven't got to get my hands on them yet. Mike, if you're listening, send your brother some love. Excuse me, guys. I had something in my throat there, but yeah, I've heard they have very high quality stuff. I've seen the interviews. I've seen the ranch. I've seen that he wants to kind of create this whole experience where you come for a resort stay, and everything is just cannabis based, from the foods to the liquors and all the amenities that they'll serve. The foods, we have tons of infused choices will be available, plus the vapes and the flowers and all the accoutrement. I mean, it's just he's done a very good job. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and this is just one of those Simpson episodes that's just a episode. But The Simpsons has had a very long history of showing us eerily the things that are going to happen in society, and being very spot on. I mean, you can literally just Google Simpsons predictions and you'll see some for 2020, 2019, 2018. People believe they predicted the Wuhan virus. Some people think they predicted the George Floyd situation. I mean, the list goes on and on. Some people think they predicted the killer hornets. Some people think they predicted Trump's presidency. Some people think they are predicting Trump will be assassinated. Some people think they are predicting a female president very shortly after Trump. The Simpsons is a very interesting show. They've had a 30-year run. I'm a big fan, and yeah, you got to pay attention to those hidden messages in the show. They have amazing screenwriters. They have amazing screenwriters, and yeah, it's the subtleties. The subtleties are always there. The conversations between the characters, and Maggie is speaking Chinese. Pay attention to that, guys. Maggie is speaking Chinese. I mean, that to me is very telling. But I'll leave that alone. Oh man. So yeah, I haven't really been here for the restart of the season. I'll tune in at some point. I'm not gonna lie. I'll tune in at some point just for the sake of having, being able to talk about it and being able to engage in the dialogue. But yeah, man, I'm not really here for it, to be honest with you. I would have been really happy if the players followed Kyrie Irving and Avery Bradley's decisions and just said, screw this season, we out. That would have really made me happy. But I get it. Only a few players was paid up until about April time, so a lot of players haven't been getting their checks, and they have families to feed. And when NBA player, athlete, or a person that's done well in any walk of life, when you say you got a family to feed, you talking about you may have 30, 40, 50 people who directly rely on you just for their food, water, and shelter and everything, and their kids' school fees, like etc. You start having survivor's remorse. You've made pledges to people that whoever gets out, you guys are going to take care of one another. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I get it. Nobody wants to see their family, their loved ones, their fams, and all the people that they take care of out here struggling and starving. And if we could just put a ball in a hole to get back to that, why wouldn't we? So come on, I completely understand. But at the same time, it's just so many bigger things going on. So I hope the platform is used for some positive things. I mean, Breonna Taylor's murderers are still out there on the loose. Breonna Taylor's murderers are still out there on the loose. Little Miss Flint, for anybody who follows her, the young girl who got famous when initially the Flint water crisis happened, and she was posting that, the water is bad, and, going around promoting that with her moms, and, trying to get up funds to bring people bottled water all around the Michigan area, Flint and the surrounding areas. Still, as of this day, is posting how there's no good water in Flint. So maybe they can use this platform to give people some good water, to try to close up a little bit of this digital divide with everything going on, and people are going to need remote learning devices in their homes and internet service that's consistent, reliable, strong, and performs well, and can take a multitude of devices, all streaming and uploading, because the kids are going to have to upload content all day, and that's millions of kids needing to upload. So the bandwidth and the signal strength and the need for strong signal strength consistently across the entire nation has never been at a higher pitch. I'll leave the 5G conspiracy theories to you guys, but I mean, it's a very smooth transition. So, call and response, man. Need, desire, fill the need, make a ton of money, right? Trump did sign that recent 5G order. So, American companies are looking to try to capitalize on this time period, as they should be. And with T-Mobile and Sprint now merging into this new super 5G company, that is going to be very interesting. But I hope it also brings better service and better quality service and better performance, and I hope discounts to the customers. But unfortunately, most of the time when you have monopolies going on, a few companies offering service, then that's when the prices start to shoot through the roof, because there's no competition. When there's no competition, people can charge you whatever they want, because they have a lock on the market and you can't go get it nowhere else. So hopefully the FCC will call shenanigans and make sure these guys don't go too crazy with the pricing of everything. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's jump into some more joints. I'm sorry for the background noise, gang, but it's a live show, so live things happen in a live show. Production. But anyway, thank you guys so much for rocking with me each and every Sunday. This is your boy Phantm, where I bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of my ghetto point of view. Let's jump into some more music. I'll be back. Shit. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, once again for rocking with me. It's your boy Phantm. Before I get out of here today, though, I do want to talk about there's a young lady who's in juvenile detention in Michigan right now, 15 years old, for violating her probationary agreement by not completing her remote work assignment. And listen, I understand that if doing her homework packet was a part of doing good in school, was a part of her probationary agreement, that she may have violated that. What I don't understand, though, is in this time when you have people literally getting out of jail and coming home for much more, I would argue, much more heinous acts. You have people coming home from jail for doing much more heinous things. Shout to your boy Tekashi 6ix9ine, who got out a little early because of COVID himself. The fact that you would be able to use that as a reason to stay out of jail or get out of jail right now. Initially they did not want to put his name escapes me at the moment, the movie mogul who Harvey Weinstein. They did not want to put Harvey Weinstein into Rikers Island because they needed to find a safe place to put him because of COVID-19. So when you have these people of a certain cachet being able to use their fame and celebrity and their ever-ending ability to fund lawyers to get out of jail and to use the real, true medical gripes, the medical reasoning, the medical science as a reason to stay out because of the unsanitary conditions in these jails, because of the close proximity to one another, the inability to social distance. Because of all of those things, you have people being able to stay out of jail who have done much more heinous things than not do homework. People who set people up for murder, people who sexually abused people are able to stay out of jail. While this 15-year-old girl who didn't do her homework has to go and be locked up. And then the judge, after she was in there for 2 months, rules on it and says she needs to stay in jail because she didn't do her homework, brings up some past assaults that she had on her mother, which is a very serious thing that definitely does need to be addressed and worked on. But if the thing that she was going to see you for now was just a violation of probation for not completing homework, not completing the remote work packet, and we don't know why she didn't complete her remote work packet. We don't know if she had issues with her computer. We don't know if she had issues logging in. We don't know if she was having problems with the IT support from her school. We don't know if her school was getting her assignment. Was she just not getting her assignments? We don't know any of that because they don't say any of that in the story. They don't give us any of those details. And the mother, who the judge is using as the excuse to not send the child home, has begged and pleaded for the child to be released, So the mom is not saying that the child is a threat to her in any form or fashion, and she wants her child home, and she does not feel her child should be in jail right now for not doing homework or not doing this remote school packet, because I don't know if they're counting it technically as homework or classwork. You'd have to ask them in the Michigan school districts what exactly would these assignments count as, and why her not doing them was such a grave issue. I have seen tons of parents all across the country talk about tons of issues with lack of IT support, the devices they're getting from the schools not working, them not having access to internet on a consistent basis. So many issues have come up with this remote learning situation that to incarcerate a 15-year-old little girl, how is that going to make her want to do her homework? How is that going to make her a better student in school? What are we teaching this child is our priorities, not her life, not making sure she doesn't catch this virus that we're saying is plaguing our entire country, but making sure that we set an example. I guarantee you she wasn't the only student that didn't complete her work. I guarantee you she's not the only student that's on probation that didn't complete her work. I guarantee you she's not the only student that's on probation that had problems with a parent that didn't complete her work. But yet now we're going to make this example out of this black child. And we're going to send her to jail. And we're going to send her to juvenile hall. We're going to keep her in there for 2 months. And instead of that being enough, no, that's not sufficient. She might have contracted COVID-19. She might be in there getting into fights. She might be in there getting beat up, getting sexually abused. Any of those things could be happening, but that doesn't matter because we want to set this example, because she violated her parole, because she's a danger to the community, because the person that said she's a danger doesn't have to worry about going to sleep in that place at night. And I'm pretty sure that person's children, if they have any, that judge's children don't have to sleep in those places at night. And I don't know if that judge's children would have to sleep in that place even if that judge's children had not done their homework. If that judge's daughter had punched her in the face, I still don't think she would have to stay in jail for not doing homework. And that's just my opinion. I could be 1,000% wrong. But sometimes I feel we need to counsel instead of cancel. In the words of a good brother Black Dot, shouts to him. We gonna get him on here too, Anchor. Y'all ain't gonna mess up that next one. I love you guys very much. It's been a great night. We got a lot talked about. This is dope. We went into a lot. But I think it doesn't make sense that in a place where they still don't have clean water, they have the resources to put people in jail for not doing homework. So they can monitor all that in Michigan, but they can't deal with the fact that they rerouted water pipes and they made sure people can't drink from their own water to save money. I think that is completely disgusting. I think that is completely hard, and I think that needs to be addressed. And what are the priorities in Michigan where we have money and resources and finances to put people in jail during these tragic times, not socially distant, not with the proper protections, but we have the money to put them in jail, but we don't have the money for piping back to the main water supply. So after all this time, people like Little Miss Flint can shower and drink water safely in their own community. It's your boy Phantm Fuego. This has been his Ghetto Point of View, where we bring you the news, previews, and reviews with his Ghetto Point of View. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please continue to share, subscribe to the show, send in all questions, comments, critiques, criticisms. If you have a product that you'd like to be placed in front of our audience, his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com, HISGHETTOPOINT of view, VIEW at gmail.com. Once again, that is his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. Get your products in front of our growing audience. Get your products in front of our growing audience. Get your products in front of our growing audience. We have cross-platform promotion available where we will not only promote it here, but on all of our platforms. And of course, you know, this show is broadcast on several different amazing podcast platforms where all dope podcasts are heard and streamed, but then also all in all of our social media platforms as well. So it'll definitely be a very comprehensive promotion and marketing plan that we will be offering. Just get in touch with us, his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com, and we'll let you know how we can help you today. You guys have been great. Please share the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Sundays this is where it's at, and this is where it goes down. We'll get back to some dope interviews again next week, but just wanted to get in here, talk to you guys, touch the people. And I'll let you know I love you. I care. And I hope you guys are spreading that love and that positivity around your community as well. And, yeah. Whew. Stay clear of these secret police guys. I don't mean that in no jest. Chicago, I really feel bad for Mayor Lightfoot and the situation that's about to go down over there. But also Albuquerque, New Mexico is also slated to get secret police. And if you heard Trump in his conversations, Detroit, Baltimore, New York City, my home, are all places where he may be looking at as well, where he feels Democratic leadership is allowing things to go awry and insane. And guys, hunker down. Be prepared to hunker down. Be prepared to take care of yourselves. Be prepared to take care of your loved ones. As things get crazy in the world, stay calm, stay resolved, stay resolute. And the best way to be able to do those things is to have plans and things in place and prepared actions and practice those plans. Repeat them, talk about them with your loved ones, see if they make sense, see how you can bring them to fruition as easily as possible. Execute. Don't sit around, don't dilly-dally. Get to it. Love you guys. We gonna make it. We gonna get through. We gonna see a brighter day. We gonna see a better tomorrow. This has been his Ghetto Point of View. See you guys again next Sunday. Each and every Sunday, we get into it. Shit. Check out some more music from these artists. Please make sure you stream them. Share them. Like them. Add them all to your playlist. Have a great week. Take care.